Hey guys, it's Mike with another King Arthur Legends Rise video today. Today we're going to talk about building our champions with purpose and do probably a cheeky little 10 pull. So stick around, we'll get right into it. So over the weekend I had the opportunity to jump into my account. I had a few extra pieces of gear going on and I actually started looking into building my champs with purpose. The first champ I looked at was Morgan, and the reason I chose Morgan was because A, all the hype about her is how amazing she is, and B, she is a crowd control slash turn meter reduction champion. So the faster you can build her and the more effective that ability is, the more turns you're going to get, the more you're slowing down the enemy. So if we take a look at her kit, the A1 is hits one enemy 2 times and has the chance of doing sleep, which is helpful. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but it can do a little bit of crowd control. It's really all about her A2. Attacks all enemies 3 times, total damage is 72, so she's not doing a lot of damage with this ability, although it can hit pretty hard if you have enough attack on her. But 50% chance to increase or decrease target's attack gauge by 10% with every attack. So theoretically, you're hitting them 3 times, you could bring down their turn meter by 30%. And it's 50-50 across the way. If you are fortunate enough to skill this up, you can actually get better decreases of their attack gauge, which is their turn meter. So you're basically going to be taking an additional 10% off or 30% per hit. And if you hit all 3, it could be up to 90% of their attack meter goes down once this skill is booked out. But even at this level, it is still extremely effective. And then her A3 can do some serious damage and cause the inability to heal on the target. But for the purpose of today's video, this is actually going to be an ability we're not going to use. The reason for that is we really want her to spam her A2 to keep the turn meter going down on the enemy. So really looking at this A2, what we're looking to do is have Morgan as fast as possible so that she's getting to this A2 ability as frequently as she can. And then we also need her with effect accuracy so that she can land this when it hits. So when it procs on this 50%, she's actually landing it on the enemy. So what we want to do is prioritize speed, and we want to prioritize effect accuracy, and that's about it for this ability right now. So what I did on my, and I have very limited gear, like I really need to spend some time farming some gear, is you definitely want to get her in a vigor set, and that way when it's her turn, even if 0 vigor is coming to her, she's going to get her 1 vigor that she gets plus the 2nd vigor for her vigor set. And that's what's going to get her to her A2. She can basically use it every single time it's her turn. So on the helmet here, we basically are looking for attack speed and effect accuracy. So this is not quite what we want, but we got attack speed here at 11. Hit accuracy is going to be different than effect accuracy. So if we go in here, we look at, again, we have hit accuracy, attack speed 2. Somewhere on here I have some effect accuracy, hopefully. Effect resistance, hit accuracy. We got 2 rolls on the speed again. But you can see this build leaves a lot to be desired. But it's just starting to build her with purpose. Attack speed, we got 1 roll here. We should actually keep moving this until we get attack speed with the 2 rolls. Which you have that powder that you can do that. But here's your effect accuracy. So on the, what are these? The necklace. On the necklace specifically, you want this effect accuracy on Morgan. And then as many of these attack speed rolls as you can. Now, if you want to, you can go in here and go change stats. I went through and blew through all of my powder, but every single time you change the stat, it'll move these around. So theoretically, I would have to change it where the attack speed goes away. The roll will stay in this position. So if I went to HP percentage, I'd have 1 roll on HP percentage, and then I could hopefully get attack speed down here where I have a 2nd roll. So I'd go from 5 to maybe 9 or 10 speed instead of 5. So I only have 1. When I started this process, I had 100. So you do accumulate these, I think, in like the Forbidden Dungeon and daily rewards. So you probably have some to work with if you haven't done this yet, but you're really looking for that effect accuracy as a primary stat, and then you're looking for attack speed everywhere you can get it. So here we move into here, we have effect accuracy on this piece plus a double roll in attack speed. The more stars you have, the higher these rolls are going to be. So if you take this as a 5-star with 2 rolls is 11. Over here I have a 4-star with 2 rolls is at 7. So I get an extra 4 speed because of that 5th star. So if I could get some 6-star gear, that would be amazing, and I could start getting my attack speed even faster. On the ring over here, you want to go with attack speed as the primary stat. You're going to get the biggest bump in attack speed with that. Even on a 3-star, I'm getting 20. So that's just something to keep in mind there. And again, farming this gear until you get those pieces. I did get her in a crit set on top of the vigor set, so that's going to help her with her crit rate. And then going down into her sub abilities, or a sub gear, if you have awakened her, again, you can get effect accuracy here with attack speed. I believe you can get his attack speed here as the set stat, plus you can get attack speed down here. So if I could get this crit rate into attack speed as well, probably won't spend a lot of time on that because it's only a 3-star, so my rolls with 2 is probably going to be like 5 or 6. So ideally I could start getting into 4 or 5-star, but really this effect accuracy is going to be beneficial there. And then also here we have HP. I'm not sure all of the options you have here, but I have very limited versions of this. So you have attack, recovery percent, which would be pretty good. This one has attack speed with 2 on it. So theoretically this could be a good piece here. But we got the effect accuracy plus the attack speed on the one she's wearing. So really just paying attention to the primary stats, the sub stats. You can build her with as much attack speed and accuracy as you can. If you go over here to detailed equip settings, it's going to pull up all of her stats based on your build. As you can see, my attack speed is not great. 166 is not fast. It's not fast at all. But I'm a very beginning game build here, and I have very, very limited gear. So that 166 is, I think I picked up 20 or 30 speed that she didn't have before once I did this build. And then the effect accuracy here is only 38%. So again, it leaves a lot to be desired. But by doing this build, I was able to progress my count substantially. The other piece of this build that goes hand in hand is having some version of crowd control. So for me, I have my Merlin who's bringing in his freezes. I did get him outfitted in a vigor set, but I have not gone through and done the same exact thing with building him with purpose yet because I don't have enough gear. So that's going to be the piece for him that I really need to start working on. And again, bringing in his effect accuracy. What he's there to do is to freeze the champions. So the goal is she's coming through, Morgan is coming through and bringing their turn meter down. He's coming through and freezing them. So the more that they can cycle through their abilities, the less damage, less turns the enemy gets on me. And so I get 2, 3, 4 cycles of turns before they get 1. And that's really the goal of what I'm trying to achieve here. So if we jump out into story mode, before I did this, I was stuck at chapter 6, level 3, I believe, maybe level 4, somewhere in here. And then after I did this, I immediately went to chapter 10 all the way to the boss. And I haven't been able, I'm sorry. We're gonna go over here to hard mode. So I haven't been able to beat the boss yet, but I did get all the way to him. But I was stuck on chapter 6, I think level 3. But I'm going to go ahead and run this cycle so you can see exactly what these people are doing. We're just going to pick a random level here and battle it out. So currently in the lead position, I have Merlin. This is actually a mistake because he's going to activate in all battles, grants all allies damage taken minus 10%, which is a good thing. But I recently built my Cormac, and Cormac activates in story and arena and grants all allies attack speed plus 20. So this is going to allow me to move faster and build on Morgan's speed that I already did so that I'm going through these abilities even more frequently. So moving Cormac into that lead position for story mode is going to be a benefit to me. Then I have Merlin coming in here to do the freezes. She's dropping turn meter, and then Turin is in here keeping my entire team alive. Hey guys, real quick, as we jump into this battle, there's a lot of lag and some issues going on. I think it's with all the movement in the screen. I was able to update my software for editing, so I'm hoping in the future videos that'll take care of the problem. But hopefully this is the last time we run into that, but please bear with me. So if we start this battle, you're going to see how fast I'm moving through abilities and how much the enemy does not get a turn. Before we get started here, let me go up here to the settings and show you what I got going on. So if you go in here and go skill order settings, what I want Turin, I want her to use her entire kit, because she's going to buff and make my champions do a little more damage. She's going to help them out. She's going to provide the heals, and then the heals on the A1. You probably could move away from her A2 and just go A3 and A1. Her A1 does do a single target heal, so if that's enough heal, you could probably do only 2 and 1, or you could just spam her A1. But with this strategy right here, I am able to basically spam all the abilities I want to. So utilizing her entire kit is a benefit. Merlin, we're getting rid of his A2. It's a single target. We're looking for the freeze from the A3, and if he doesn't have that, it's single target with a freeze on the A2. This is a great ability, but we're really looking to keep as many people from getting a turn as possible. On Morgan, we're going to shut down her A3. Again, it's a hard-hitting ability, does a great job, but this A2 is what we are all about. We are slowing them down. We're taking their turn meter out from underneath them. And Cormac, we're going to go with his big AoE ability doing some serious damage, or we're going to his A1. And the purpose of this is basically to make sure we have enough vigor at everybody's turn for them to do their best ability most of the time. So you're going to see how this works. We're going to go ahead and hit OK, and we're going to go back into auto. So starting the team out, we got Merlin. We didn't land any freezes with Merlin. Got some buffs up. Got the big AoE ability from Cormac. I think we already did Morgan's ability before I took it off auto, but you can see some of the damage that we've done with Cormac's ability. Again, bringing down the turn meter. You can see the yellow bar coming down when Morgan does that ability. Cormac again doing his big AoE ability, almost killed the ads already. They're done. Now we're back to the boss here. We haven't really got any freezes on this, but you can see I'm in no danger of dying here. Turin is doing a great job, and we are blazing through this without any problem at all. Whereas before I did this build, I was struggling to get through this level, and I was unable to do it. If we take out of here, let's move on to a harder level, and maybe we can see this in action a little more. So the hardest level that I can beat is this guy right here. We're going to go in and start this battle. We got Cormac again in the lead, and see if the freezes come in a little better for Merlin here. So we're going to come in. We did not get any freezes. And again, his effect accuracy is not very high right now. I have not built him with the same purpose that I've done for Morgan. But if you watch their turn meters, when Morgan goes, you're going to see the yellow bar comes down, and they're slowing them down. So we are getting to get a couple extra turns here. Cormac's coming in with some big hits. Again, slowing them down. So Morgan got to go twice before any of the enemies even had a turn. Hopefully we got Merlin coming in here to land some freezes for us. We got one freeze right there, so we skipped a turn on that guy. We're coming in, we're bringing their turn meter down again. Cormac missed his big ability. We didn't have enough vigor for it. That's okay. Got another freeze in there, so that guy is not going to get a turn. You can see these reduced speeds stacking up on the enemy. My entire team, again, our health is looking great. Cormac is a little bit soft, so that's why his health is down a little bit. Bringing turn meter down. And getting back to Merlin here. Oh, I guess we're going to be Cormac next. What do we got? Yeah, there we go. And he'd miss his big ability again. That's okay. He went down in that one. But you can see how close we are to winning this battle before we lost our main damage dealer. Now we got the AoE abilities here that are going to finish this up for us, no problem. So we're going to keep plugging on, taking their turn meter down, freezing them when we can. And I can only imagine if you had better AoE crowd control from Merlin, how much better this team would work if I was landing twice as many freezes, for example. If you don't have Merlin, there's the common guy, Kalik. He's the one wearing the skulls. We got a freeze on both of them right there. That's beautiful. So they're going to both skip a turn there, and we just get to keep on. But he does an AoE, puts up roots, and basically does a stun / freeze on his ability. So building him up as additional AoE crowd control could be a benefit. Potentially it might make sense for me to bring him in and actually replace Turin. By doing extra crowd control, I might need significantly less heals, and that could be a way of alternating and keeping the boss from actually getting a turn. Now this is going to take a long time because we're basically tickling him to death, but you can see how frequently he's not getting a chance to go. So we've frozen him, I think 2 or 3 times in a row now. We're keeping his turn meter dropping every time Morgan gets a turn. He comes in, does some damage. It's okay. We're going to go ahead and heal it up. She's confused, so that's unfortunate. But we're going to, keep the buffs going and keep moving. So I'll bring you back in after we wrap this up because it might be a while. All right, so bring you back in here so you can see we're coming off a freeze, got another freeze. We're bringing turn meter down. That took almost 30-60% of the turn meter down right there. And we're going to get through this boss completely topped off with health. And that made a huge difference to my team, just getting Morgan as fast as possible, getting the effect accuracy up, and then bringing Cormac in as my lead to bring her speed even higher. I was able to press on multiple levels, not only in story mode, but also Forbidden Dungeon. I went from stage, I think it was 29, all the way to stage 40, just because I did this strategy. So if we get into the restricted area, it's got that little bit of lag there. But in the Forbidden Dungeon, we're on normal. We're on 39. So I haven't been able to beat 40 yet, but I pressed on an additional almost 15 levels from where I was. So, I mean, that was a huge win there. So obviously not everybody has Merlin, but the other guy you'd be looking for would be this guy right here. Kalik, I'm not sure. But on the, I think it's the A3 ability. Yeah, root binding. So it's going to hit with a little bit of damage here and 20% chance to each hit to inflict root binding. And that would be a helpful crowd control option as well. There might be additional folks that do this kind of crowd control. You're looking for sleep, stuns, root binding, freeze, all of those things. That's an AoE ability with a decent chance. He's got a 20% chance of hitting that. If we go back to Merlin, I'm not sure what our chance is on. 35% chance hitting 2 times, but it's only on the last hit. So he has a 35% chance of landing freeze. Now, as you start to rank him up, the freeze rate can go up to 55%, which would be huge. We would be landing that so much more frequently, but obviously it takes some resources to level up skills. So on a side note, I've been looking at Kay. I've been getting absolutely wrecked by Kay in the arena. And I was trying to figure out exactly what's going on here. So Kay has, she hits hard. She does a great job. And this specific on her A3 hits 4 times for a total damage of 100%. Comparing that to Cormac on his A3, he's going to hit twice for a total damage of 216. So he's going to hit significantly harder when he hits. But she has a very unique thing in arena, and it actually would work in a lot of places when you get her chivalry up. So if you notice here on Chivalry level 1, she's going to increase her attack gauge by 20. When she does a certain ability using this skill, it increases attack gauge. But it's all about this 8th Chivalry. If you can get Kay to 8 Chivalry after evading 1 time, which she picks up evasion along the way. She get crit rate and attack. I think it was this one was evasion. Evasion 10%. So if you build her with evasion, and then you get to this point here. Once she evades 1 time, she gets Golden Boar's Resolve. And basically anytime she uses an ability, she's going to recharge her attack gauge by 100%. And that is going to be incredible. So Kay does need to stack this up 3 different times, but that can actually happen with a single attack. So for example, when my Kay goes up against a Kay with really high evasion, 2 of her attacks are 4 hits. So if she evades 3 of the 4, boom, she's already got this back. And so she just goes turn after turn after turn and just annihilates my team. So she is an amazing champion, especially when you get to this Chivalry 8. And you'd want to build her with not only attack, damage, crit rate, all of that, but you'd want to build her with high evasion to help her out with evading those so she can really take advantage of the Golden Boar's Resolve. Obviously, she's going to be great in arena. We've seen her work through it and do a great job, but also in progression of story mode, Forbidden Dungeon, all those places where the hit accuracy may not be that high. You can actually get her to evade a lot of abilities, and all of a sudden, she's going to do some serious work for you. So we got straight amateur hour over here. Had a glitch in Lake Avalon. We did our pulls, our summons. We got 1 rare. In the summon. Actually, we got 2 rares. We got Adwin with the normal summons, and we pulled for her, and then in the special summons we pulled a Rosier. Unfortunately, we pushed our pity down to 20 now, so we're getting closer to pity system to get our next legendary. One of these days I'm going to figure it out, and I won't have these these technical issues anymore. I appreciate you guys bearing with me though, because I'm figuring it out. I'm trying to make it work. So that's pretty unfortunate that we got those pulls. As far as uncommons, we did not get a Jarrett, we did not get a Khalik. So those would be the two uncommons that I'm kind of focused on right now as far as building. We got Jarrett right here, and then the Khalik is this guy right here. Kaleech. I don't know. I'm going to go with Khalik. I feel like that's right. But anyway, he got that AOB crowd control ability. And I'd like to bring him in with Merlin and see how much crowd control I can really get out of that, because I feel like that would be a huge win. But also for folks that haven't pulled a Merlin yet, this would be a great alternative for some crowd control. But that's about what I got for you today. I hope you found that helpful, and hopefully it helps press your account along quite a bit. Ideally, I need to spend some more time in the dungeons fighting dragon to get some better gear and also some better forge materials so I can forge better gear sets, utilizing probably mostly this vigor item right here. I can't get the 5 and 6 star, but hopefully I have some stuff to get in. Yeah, so I'm starting to get a little bit of stuff to get into this 4-5 star range, which would definitely help my account along if I could get a couple of these 5-star pieces ideally. But anyways, that's about what I got for you today. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please do so. It means the world to me. We're working towards monetization. Haven't quite got there yet, and I do really appreciate the support, and I can't wait to see you next time.